This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back the gorgeous, the talented Bethany Wright. You all remember her from the cult classic They Still Call Me Bruce. And I'm having her back on today. We are going to nerd out on the entertainment of our youth, talking about film, television, and music. You know, she grew up in the 60s, and I want to see what her entertainment choices were. And I love talking to Bethany. We had, we've been planning this nerd out since last year, but it's finally going to happen today, and I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait, and I'm going to see what she's got going on. And God, didn't I tell you that I was going to have, more nerd outs this month? Man, I had Darlene Vogel on the other day, Lisa Mendy on yesterday, and they were both fantastic. And I think that Bethany will be great too. So you gotta love that. Also, Bert Kreischer finally made amends with Gene Simmons. If you go back and listen to my 2020 podcast with Leanne Kreischer, we briefly mentioned that there was a rift between Bert and Gene Simmons of Kiss. You know, I haven't watched the podcast that they did yet, but I'm going to this weekend. But when I saw it advertised in my queue on YouTube, I was like, what the fuck? They had a televised incident 20 years ago. They fought on Twitter, etc. But then I thought, yeah, it's showbiz. I mean, eventually people do make amends in show business, so whatever. And God, I hope Leanne will come back on soon. I miss talking to Leanne Kreischer. So yeah, here is my new interview with Bethany Wright.
Hey, my goodness, long time no talk.
Yeah, it's been quite a
I
while.
mean, really long time. Really, it seems like forever in a day. But I hope you're doing well.
Yep, I mean, it's the same old shit, different smell, but you can't complain.
I could say the same old shit, but it's been really different. It's we've had so much going on, Tommy, that it's been. Um, I never thought it would be this busy in my life,
Yeah.
but it has. Uh, I've been very fortunate. My husband and I have been very blessed with grandkids and
Love it.
so forth. So yeah, and we've been traveling quite a bit, and now we are finally coming. Well, I can't say we're finally coming. We're going to a few more places, but we are hopefully going to be then chilling out toward the end of the summer.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's
Yes.
that's so awesome. So going back in time, do you remember the first movie that impacted you as a child?
Oh gosh. Um. Oh my God. Yes, there was a movie that impacted me, but I'm thinking, God, what? Oh, the right stuff.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
great
not as a
movie.
child. Now wait a minute. That wasn't as a child. So as a child, I would almost have to say The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
As a child,
Yeah.
as a child, The Wizard of Oz, or even uh, the older ones with the oh God, what was the Bad Seed?
Oh, The Bad
Oh,
Seed. Yeah.
the Bad Seed affected me.
Yeah. Patty McCormick. Oh my God, she is so evil and so gangster-like in that role. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
I mean, there were movies though back then that had a beginning and an ending, and it involved people.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't. I was not. I wasn't the action and all of that, but the movies were more uh, stories, and the line, the plots had meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it wasn't. It was refreshing and new and different. And God, you're making me go back and think now because I've been thinking of the movies we've recently seen, but And we've kind of gravitated we've gravitated toward independent
Oh yeah, those are
movies.
great.
So for us, I like seeing actors. I like seeing actors working, and I
Yeah.
like seeing actors. A lot. When I think of Sundance, and when I think of uh, Texas, down in Austin,
Mm-hmm.
Southwest, that was
Yep.
just starting when I lived there.
Yeah.
That was new,
Yeah.
and it was new, and it was a baby. Sundance was off on its feet, but now they have all these different venues and festivals where you can possibly, uh, have your film or trailer seen by someone that has the ability or promoter to do something with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
So,
yeah. I mean, you probably remember when, like, the landmark horror movies like Night of the Living Dead, The Exorcist, and Texas Chainsaw
oh my
Massacre
God!
came
Oh
out.
no, The Exorcist. I saw that in the theater. The
Yeah.
Exorcist. I saw Ben. Now that was another
Yeah.
incredible movie with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, the theme. I couldn't believe it. The music, the song, but Ben with the rats. I mean, that was a lot of extras,
Yeah.
and yet there was no um there was no computerized, and I mean what they were able to do, what they do today, they weren't able to do back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, remember Willard?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yes.
I got to interview Bruce Davison, who played Willard last year, and I've met him before. He's a great guy, but like, yeah, I mean, he told me, I mean, he didn't have a fear of rats, so he worked very well with them, and they were all real. There was no fake rats on that movie.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, even when I remember, I mean, who doesn't remember Jaws? We still listen to the music. We
Yeah,
still know what it's about.
yeah,
But that was the very first, and of course, working with Roy and in another movie that I did, it was so I kept looking at him like I couldn't look at him without seeing shark. Or I
yeah,
mean, I'm like, God, he really is an act, because he did that part so incredibly well, and I associated that with him.
hmm.
He was perfect.
What kind of comedy did you like growing up?
Oh, what did I what?
What kind of comedy did you like growing up? As
Oh
far as movies
God.
go, like, did you like Mel
Oh
Brooks, Neil
God.
Simon?
Oh my God, Mel Brooks. No, I mean, Blazing Saddles. I watch it. I watch it to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like the ultimate for me. Blazing Saddles. Now Frankenstein and all. I mean, I
Hmm.
enjoyed that. I really truly did. But Blazing Saddles just took it for me. The way
Hmm.
it was done, and
Yeah.
how well it was written. I mean, and the lines that you still remember from there. No, I mean, and the songs, the music, and the performers in that. As a matter of fact, oh God, what was this? Shoot,
Gene
shame
Wilder.
on me. You're asking.
Gene
There was a
Wilder.
gentleman there was an actor in it that when I lived in Texas, he lived there, and we worked around each other quite. I mean, we saw each other so much, and he was the one that was the bad guy. Oh
Uh,
gosh,
David
good
Huddleston.
looking.
Was
Pardon
it
me.
was it David Huddleston or Burt
Not
Gilliam?
David Hug. Pardon me.
Was it Burt Gilliam?
Yes, it was Burt Gilliam. I
Yeah.
still, I was back and forth with Burt for so many years
Yeah.
on Facebook when it started, but I would see him so often in Dallas. Burt loved a fundraiser or a reason to get out and be Burt,
Oh yeah.
and he was just the most gracious, fun-loving, funny individual
Mm-hmm.
that loved his part so much. He enjoyed the memory of it, and he
Yeah.
enjoyed everyone coming up to him. So a lot of people don't. A lot of actors are like, I've done that part. Don't associate me with that part. It's
Yeah.
over. But he loved it.
Yeah.
That was his claim.
He started out as a
And
firefighter, and then Peter Bogdanovich met him, saw him, asked him to be in Paper Moon, and that's how his movie career started.
Peter Bogdanovich, I met at Lakewood Theater when he came to see another movie, and he was a guest.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at that time, wow. I mean, just meeting him, um, they were of their own. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they to me,
Yeah.
uh, and like Masterson. I mean,
Peter
and
Masterson.
just Peter Masterson. I just meeting and being around and auditioning for with, and that's what really changed so much since I have been in the business. Which, by the way, this year I am at 65. I have gone in for the Social Security. I've gone for my, let's bring it in. And I am receiving my pension
Mm-hmm.
from SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah.
And I worked.
Yeah.
I really did work really hard.
Yeah, you
I
did.
mean, I didn't realize how much I worked, but so many of the productions were under SAG-AFTRA. So many of the voiceover and all the work that I did was contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the board in Dallas, Texas for 11 years for SAG-AFTRA. I mean, if you're going to be it, if you're going to be a part of it, then be a part of making it good. But as I think we discussed before, a right to work state, it was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It was really difficult, and it's still difficult, even more so. But the whole interview, the whole auditioning has changed so much.
Yeah.
It's so impersonal now.
Yeah, it's on Zoom.
You Oh yeah, no, it's all Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you're not even on Zoom to meet you meet the casting agent. I mean, you audition for the casting agent. You don't ever see the director unless it's that final. But even then,
Yeah.
it's it's on Zoom.
I've talked to a few
And
people who
how
I talked to a few people who got to do it in person recently. They said it felt so good to be back in person doing it because the Zoom fucking drives them crazy.
I can't imagine doing Zoom. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Tommy, I did do, I shouldn't say that. I didn't do Zoom, but I did do where we did video and sent it in. That at the and in the latter part of working, we did that quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
where we sent it in. A casting agent we'd go in there and they'd tape it and they'd send it off.
Yeah.
But that I didn't mind that either, because at least you were in a room with the actual casting agent, or you were with someone that was there doing something with that film.
Mm-hmm.
And to just do it, mm,
Yeah.
to do it on Zoom, I just, my hat's off to them. um it's so impersonal, it's so cold.
Right.
I mean, when we see movies, I'm touched by it, and of course we're watching a movie, but I just couldn't imagine. I did for myself
Mm-hmm.
auditioning and doing it by Zoom.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
You like Marilyn Monroe movies, right?
Oh yes, I do. I actually River of No Return,
Yeah.
but Misfits was my favorite of hers, only because it truly was probably one of the most difficult films for to be made, only because she was going through so much. Even
Mm-hmm.
Some Like It Hot, she was tearing. She had a miscarriage during that film, um, but Misfits, she was really battling a lot of inner demons, and at that point, her soon to be, I mean, her ex husband. I mean, it was just one of those very difficult times in her life, and it was difficult for the rest of the cast because of it. I mean, she always blamed herself for the fact that Clark Gable passed soon afterward,
Mm-hmm.
or didn't even, I mean, because of the tedious and just the stress
Did
of
you
making it.
did you know that she did a movie with Dean Martin that never got finished?
Oh, I know. Well, that was the one, and that was the Let's Make Love.
Yeah.
That was the one that she was. First of all, she had lost that weight
Yeah.
because of her bladder,
Yeah.
her gallbladder, and because of that, she became so much more Marilyn, as you might say. She was not self conscious,
Yeah.
because I think that she was always self-conscious. She needed to have her vocal coach there, or someone on set, someone to always tell her that's why she did take after take after take. Prince and the Sugar. That was another film that she did so many takes of one thing that it drove
Mm-hmm.
the lead. It drove him up the wall. He hated her. They didn't like each other
Oh yeah.
by the end of that movie. Olivier did not. I mean, he
Yeah.
was just did not even want to be in the same room with her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she. But when she did that, she in the middle of that shooting, and Dean Martin, God love him, he had no problem with anything. I mean, Dean
Yeah.
was like, Marilyn, do what you need to do. But she went to sing "Happy Birthday" to the president, and she was supposed to be sick, and she was supposed to not be able to do anything, and
Mm-hmm.
thinking she could fly out, sing "Happy Birthday" and fly back, and no one would know the better.
Yeah.
And yet that's the ultimate performance of her life that she did, that people still, I mean, you don't think of "Happy Birthday" without thinking of Marilyn having sung it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I still have all my Marilyn, not all of them, but I have the costumes that cost me an arm and a leg, and I still even have some of her wigs that I had made and done. Oh God, what?
Yeah.
I think I did Marilyn the longest of anyone that I've known that would admit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really.
Like the 7 Year Itch is my favorite Marilyn movie, and I found out the reason why so many people dislike it is because it's not as body as the stage play is. And you gotta understand, you couldn't go that body in 1955. You had to trim it down. I just think her and Tom Ewell are magical in it.
Oh, they were totally, and Hill had he was not pushing her to just like do what was written in this and that. I mean, that whole scene with the dress blowing up
Yeah.
from that was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
That happened only because they were standing there. And that's the other thing, that film, um, in those days, a lot of the scenes were brought on by just it happened.
Hmm.
It was life imitating, and it was just art, and it happened, and you couldn't make it re-happen.
Hmm.
But the subway and all that, when it came up through the grates, it was just they were standing there. It happened, and it was just like, yeah. And
Yep.
that was the demise with her with Joe DiMaggio.
Oh yeah.
when that he was on set. There was a confrontation. That was
Mm-hmm.
it.
Oh yeah.
As much as he loved her, he didn't like her being viewed as an object.
You're right.
And so that was it for that. As a matter of fact, he had an issue if there was a Maryland, because when he was at the All-Star game in Arlington, Texas, and I was doing Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there, and ESPN came in, and we shot some things, and of course it was on ESPN, and people were saying, "My God, Bethany, you're on ESPN."
Yeah.
I said, "No, I wasn't. Maryland was," but they wanted they wanted Joe DiMaggio. They wanted us to meet, and they had it all set up. They had everything. Stay here, don't move. Um, we're going to arrange this. And then all of a sudden they said, "Okay, we're done. Nope, not happening."
Yeah.
Joe DiMaggio wanted nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. I have to respect that of him. That was not how he saw Marilyn. Norma Jean, that's not how he saw her.
Did you see the
So
Did you see the Netflix series about her?
I didn't, and I should,
Mm-hmm.
and I really should. I don't know why. For me, I think I just having portrayed her as long as I did,
Yeah.
and having um actually talked to people that actually knew her
Yeah.
way back in the day in Dallas, when I was working at the apparel mart modeling.
Mm-hmm.
There was a gentleman there that actually met her. He was a young man, um, and he came to find me. He said, "I understand you do Maryland." And I said, "Well, I don't know if I do Maryland, but I try to portray her as everyone would want to remember her."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Yeah." He said, if you're ever doing Maryland, please." I sent him some pictures, and he was like, "Oh my God." And there was one time that I was walking out, because many times I would have a Maryland after even modeling. I would go in and model from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m., and sometimes I'd have a gig at 9 p.m. to sing happy birthday, or I would say, a drive by or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I left the apparel mart several times as Marilyn, and everyone at the apparel mart knew me for what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw me as Marilyn, and I did use the 7 year inch dress, but I mainly used the dress that she did, and to have that made was a whole story of its own. To have that presidential dress made, which she literally had sewn on her, I had that made, and I had it made by a costume designer, a seamstress in New York City. This great guy. Never met him, but I paid him and I commissioned him to make that, and I still have it. And that dress was not meant to be worn a lot. And I will tell you, when I did perform on stage, anyone behind me saw everything,
Wow.
because it was backlighting. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I had a band behind me or a group behind me or something like that, I knew when I came out on the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't see, I mean, but from behind,
Yeah.
here's the show, because you really couldn't wear anything under it.
Yeah. Did you like James Bond movies?
The Bond movies,
Mm-hmm.
loved them, loved them. Ursula was my favorite,
Mm-hmm.
and also Raquel Welch. I
Yeah.
mean, they were my favorites. They were my favorites, and God, I
Connery, he
saw.
was the best, wasn't he? Oh my God.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I
I
mean,
mean, absolutely.
Roger
And I
Moore.
have to.
Yeah, I mean Roger Moore was all
Oh, Roger
looks,
Moore was.
and he was
Oh, Roger
charming, but Connery, I don't know. There's something about Connery that was so cool.
Connery was James Bond.
Yeah,
I would say Bronson, Pierce Bronson. I think. I mean,
yeah,
I would say that the ones that have done it since, I commend them. But and I always saw as Roger. I saw Roger Moore as James Bond. I was
yeah,
just that timing in my life.
yeah,
But you could ask anyone, and they would say, of course, Sean Connery.
yeah.
And the women that were in it. And when I look at, have they selected who they're going to? Is it a the new one that they're
Mm,
going with?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. All I know is Amazon bought it. I'm a little disappointed because I think they're going to do some dumb spin-offs like the Money Penny Chronicles or something. I'm just like, God, that's so cheesy. you know?
Yeah, but that seems to be what's going on these days,
I know, I
Tommy. That
know.
seems to be, and that's why I'm really. Uh, I mean, I'm not saying The Wiz. I'm not saying Oz. I'm not saying all of that hasn't been wonderful, but to bring it back and bring it back and do a remake and do a remake, there's some movies that should not be remade.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that
agree.
in my opinion, should not be touched.
Yeah,
It's like, let's redesign the Oscar. You don't redesign the Oscar.
right.
You don't redesign, and you don't try to take it down another path. Um, I really, the movies that have come out lately,
Yeah,
they've been a movie from a movie, and I really can honestly say I haven't seen them.
yeah.
And so you also have Hulu, Netflix, all these different. I mean, everyone, and now the artists, the known,
Mm-hmm.
very known, and artists that uh, their names, they want to do it in a series. They want to do it now on a streaming, or they want to do it that way. And may I say, the last few times we've gone to a theater,
Mm-hmm.
we've been the only ones in it.
Yeah, pretty
The only
much.
ones in the theater.
Yep,
It's crazy.
I
It's
know.
really crazy. Now I have to say we did go see. Oh my God, this is funny. My husband, I told him I had to see The Substance,
Uh-huh.
only because I wanted to see Demi Moore one,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking of all the times, GI Joe. I mean, and all of the things that she has done. Which personally,
G.I.
I
Jane.
thought she's done a really beautiful body of work.
yeah.
But I saw the movie, and at the very end of it, there were only two other couples, no, three other couples in the theater with us, who are all couples our age.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all there for a reason, to see this that has been talked about and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, I don't know if you've seen it, have you?
I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I have people on one side telling me it's gross, don't see it. I have other people on one side saying, Tommy, this movie's up your alley. You love gross things, and I'm like, okay, I'll probably see it, but it's weird how horror generally doesn't get respect by the Academy. There's been some exceptions like The Exorcist and whatever, but like it's just I had this conversation the other day with somebody. Like the Oscars make weird choices to nominate movies these days. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They are completely. You have no idea. I mean, when they were talking, oh Maria, and they were talking about
Barbie,
I said Callus. I mean,
Barbie.
yes. And then the movies came out,
Yeah.
the nominations.
Hmm. It's crazy.
It very and I did. I mean, and I do like horror. I just thought though, this is the part that they gave her finally. a I mean, she deserved many times. I mean, so many actors have not received as many times that they've been nominated. But
Right.
I thought, wow, she was not even in it as much as the girl that portrayed uh, her other self,
Mm-hmm.
the younger, the more beautiful. I thought, wow. I thought it was very interesting. I was it was not what I was planning on,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was interesting. But at the very end, here are all these other men, and the first words he said, "Well, I thought this was going to be a chick flick," and I thought, I got news for you, honey. This was not a chick flick. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this was a horror film, and I think you should see it. I
Mm-hmm.
really do think you should see it, but be I don't think you should be prepared to be disappointed. But it's very for
Yeah.
her performance, for it to have taken that to have gotten an award.
Yeah. Last year, I think it was, Robin Williams' daughter came out with a remake of Frankenstein. It was like a female Frankenstein movie. It was comedic, right? I haven't seen it, but like I was surprised that wasn't nominated. Going back to how they make weird choices like Barbie and stuff. I
Oh my God! Oh
yeah.
my God! Oh, we saw Barbie. We saw Barbie, and it was like, ugh, you know what? I played with that doll when I was young, not that
Yeah.
often because my brother shaved Barbie's hair off and stuck needles in it. But
Yep.
I mean, and one other Barbie, he put it in one of these little cars that he had and took an M80 to it. So my Barbies were having horror films themselves. I mean,
Yes.
my Barbies were definitely. I should have probably done a movie on those poor Barbie dolls, but I looked at that and I thought, really? And then they had him perform. His song was up and nominated,
Yeah.
and Billie Eilish. I mean, I just thought, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Different world today. It
It,
is a
it
different world,
is. It is.
and I don't know how I would be in the film industry if I were in it at the age I was when I was.
Mm-hmm.
Because my 20s and 30s and 40s, you auditioned,
Yeah.
you worked hard, and you also had a lot of of stories that you could tell from the audition. I mean, you walk in and first thing you're like, well, she's too pretty, and it's like, next.
Yeah.
It's like, see, I didn't even have to go on Zoom. I wonder what they do on Zoom if they're auditioning and they know that it's not good. I wonder if they can just say thank you.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you have any movie star crushes growing up?
Any movie crushes?
Yeah.
Mm, not really. I never really, but I must say Tom Cruise, when I was in Dallas
Mm-hmm.
and he had just come in to do 4th of July, and I wanted to get on that so bad. And it was another thing that at that point I was new. I was not getting auditioning for anything of import. I mean, they had their set people,
Mm-hmm.
but I was given the opportunity of doing atmosphere. I
Yeah.
could do atmosphere, but I really like his work and I like his ethics. Um, I'm very his. He's got, in my opinion, a very strong hold on what he's trying to do and create. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes other people, it's just it's too much. It's like they don't get it, but he takes a part for all it's worth. And he was someone that I always wanted to work with. And trying to think though, I mean, oh gosh.
Like I was into Cary Grant and Natalie Wood and so many 80s movie actresses I've come to interview and become friends with like you. You know, those were like my big crushes.
Well, I have to say, if I had a crush of any kind, it would have been like Clark Gable.
Yeah,
It really would have. And even Rock Hudson, I wouldn't have cared. You know what? Didn't bother. I mean, it's just, and that happened to me once. There was someone that I had such a crush on
hmm,
in Dallas, only to come find out. I said, we're flirting. I mean, we get along. I mean, what's wrong? What's wrong? I mean, you don't want to
yeah.
go out. And he said, the only problem is you're a girl. And he
Hmm.
goes, oh, got it. Okay. So yeah, but
I watched it happen
uh,
I watched it happen one night last week. Seeing Gable drunk is hilarious. I was just cracking up at that.
and you know what, John Wayne too. I
Yeah.
have to say, John Wayne. I just and oh God, now here we go. That did uh, I did have a crush on Patrick Swayze.
Okay. Yeah, everyone did.
Adored. I just and he was originally from Houston.
Hmm.
And they still had their parent his mom still had a place there they taught. And I thought, oh God, whenever I was down there, and even I thought, do you think I might run into him? Where is this studio? So yeah, I did Patrick Swayze. So you're making me think now. Just really. Oh, and Sam from
Sam.
he did with Cher. They did
Oh,
Mask.
Sam Elliott.
Oh, but what woman doesn't love Sam Elliott?
I know. I know. He's very
I mean,
virile, and he's a great guy too. At the same time, you know.
but I have to say, of turning that around the other way,
Hmm.
the one that I really never, ever, ever got in kind of like ooh was Jack Nicholson.
Hmm. Nicholson's one of my favorite actors. I mean,
Oh, he's one of my favorite actors, but having a crush or anything,
those
um,
those first 6 years that he was big. I mean, he made his best movies: Easy Rider, Five
absolutely.
Easy Pieces, The Last Detail, Chinatown, Cuckoo's Nest, all classics. Oh my God, he was great.
And he still is. I just wish I wish he would come on board with something. But I mean,
Hmm.
because his chops. I mean, he's a master. I
Yeah,
would love to see his work. And that's the other thing. I know they have a lot of upcoming, and they have a lot of actors that are doing major parts and roles. But I would love to see him perform in something
yeah,
again.
yeah. Did you go to the drive-in a lot growing up?
Yeah, I got in the trunk many times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got in the trunk a lot of times. Yeah, we did that, and then when my first boyfriend, that's when it was like, oh no, no one else is going with us. Yeah, I got that too. But I, I'll never forget when we went to go see Flash Gordon.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that was wild. Oh my God.
What the
But there was some, yeah, oh God. I wish there were drive-ins still too. I mean, are there any, Tommy?
We have one here in the Bay Area. I'm over in San Jose. I haven't been to it, but I'd like to go. But we had one in San Mateo when I was growing up. My parents started taking me when I was 2. You know, that you can blame that for us talking today because it formed my personality early on. You know,
Did they sit you out on the top? Did they put you on the
that
hood?
that
We
may
would sit on the hood too.
that may have happened once or twice. I don't remember, but I just remember being in the back seat and I would fall asleep because I wasn't used to being up that late. You know, because I was 2, 3, 4 years old at the time. They stopped taking me for a few years because I was either falling asleep or getting out of the car and knocking on windshields.
Oh my God. I'm trying to remember some of the movies we saw. Oh God, what was it? There, because that's when you saw a lot of good horror flicks and so forth.
Yeah.
Um, and creatures from the Blue Lagoon
Yeah,
and stuff. I mean, it
the
was like, yeah.
Grindhouse movies. Remember the Grindhouse
Oh
exploitation
God.
horror? Yeah.
Well, when I went down to, having grown up in Michigan, my mother would immediately ship me down to Cleveland. My uncle was, at that time, and he has recently passed in the last five 5 years, but
Hmm.
he was a drummer and he drummed to the day that he had passed. But he was a drummer with Mike Douglas, show, the
Yeah,
Michael Douglas
the
show,
Mike Douglas
and they
show.
performed in Cincinnati. And when Michael Douglas then moved out to Burbank, my uncle said, "There's no way I'm not having my children grow up in California." So he stayed
Hmm.
in Cleveland, Parma Heights, and he was such a phenomenal drummer and taught so many incredible drummers. And his not claim to fame, I mean, he could care less. He would teach during the day and then play at night, and then he'd come home. And so during the day, if he wasn't teaching, we had to be quiet.
Yeah.
But my mom would ship me down there every summer, and we would get in so much trouble going to the mall. And of course, that was where you'd go and see movies. That's where I saw The Exorcist. I think I was 13 when I saw The Exorcist. And it was one of those that, and the drive-throughs, my older cousin would take me, and I was like you, would sit me in the back, and it was like,
Hmm.
just be quiet. I mean,
Yeah.
watch this, behave.
Yeah.
So,
So getting into television, I mean, did you watch sitcoms growing up?
oh God, loved them. Oh my gosh, Tommy, you're taking me back. And I don't have Alzheimer's, so I mean, I don't have a, but I loved, oh, Harriet. I loved,
The Munsters, the Addams
uh,
Family.
My Three Sons.
Yeah.
Um,
Green
oh
Acres.
gosh, oh my God, Green Acres. I still think of Green Acres, and sometimes I think when I'm working in the yard or we're working outside or planning this house, I really call it Green Acres.
Yeah.
It seems like it's one of those fiascos.
Yeah.
And you know, that was non-ending funny. Dadgum, so well written, and all those parts and characters. And even my husband loves the radio,
Hmm.
uh, actually, from the radio hours and the stories, and so he listens that to that when he's in the car. And yeah, those were the. That's when you could actually turn on the radio, and so now you have to go on Sirius to get uh, the radio shows.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
I grew up on
it
all
was
of.
crazy,
I grew up on all.
crazy. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Of course, there was the Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch,
Of course,
Partridge
there was.
Family, the Partridge
Oh
Family.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And oh God, and where
Gidget,
would we be without Alfalfa?
the
And
Little Rascals.
oh my God, the Little Rascals.
Uh,
That was, and of course I like Johnny Quest, but that was one of the only few um, cartoons
hmm.
that I enjoyed that they tried to make as realistic. And I liked people
Yeah.
more so than cartoon.
I know. I
I
meet
was
people
drawn more
sometimes.
towards,
I meet people sometimes that don't like cartoons, so I totally get it.
yeah. And the cartoons, I don't know, Fantasia when that came out and all that. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm more towards uh, the people. Oh God, what was it that also, because Val Kilmer just having recently passed,
Yeah.
and I read your Huckleberry. I read his book,
Tom Sawyer.
and
Yeah, and Huckleberry Finn. Yeah.
yes, yes, and boy, I really he. I would have loved to have met him too. I wasn't drawn. I mean, didn't have a crush or anything, but I really, after reading his book and after everything he went through, and then all of the all of the females that he had dated, I was like, my God, I never. I mean, Cher.
Mm-hmm.
He actually, I mean, and all these others, these female actresses that he had dated, but he never promoted it. He never, made himself. He was a genuine and a very gifted, and I don't think that people are aware of his training.
Mm-hmm.
And having been at Juilliard in New York, he was a very, very gifted actor.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he did this TV movie on HBO when I was a kid called "The Man Who Broke 1,000 Chains." It was about that guy. I think he was wrongly accused, and he was on a chain gang in the South, and he escaped, started a whole new identity in life, and then he got caught again. Even in that TV movie, which you could find on YouTube, as cheesy as it is, he was damn good in that. I'll tell you.
I'm going to look at it. If I hadn't seen it, which I might have, but at this at at this age of my life, I mean, I could see it. I mean, I like finding older films, and I'm very grateful that I have a husband that
Mm-hmm.
loves. Well, he lives and breathes for grit. My husband is a
Yeah.
dire grit guy, and all of it. And that's another thing, Tommy. I never noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Grit, and all the different episodes, and the Wild Wild West, and all this,
Oh yeah.
and those crazy, but all the women there on the shows, they spoke like Marilyn before Marilyn spoke. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they were all like, "Oh, I don't know. What do you think?" I thought, wow, that was even before Marilyn. Just she made it. She completely. Uh, what am I thinking of? Just took it and tweaked it
Yeah.
and made it her own, unlike anyone else. But a lot of the actresses in those films spoke like that, very soft, very, and just very. I
Yeah.
don't know. What do you think? And I'm like, wow, that's it. It was around long before Marilyn,
Right.
and yeah, but and what else was I thinking? Oh, the other movie when you say actors, and I loved um uh Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
I mean, the one that with Brad Pitt and with Leonardo.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah.
Yeah, DiCaprio. I can watch that movie over and over again.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
gosh darn it, that movie is dad gum good, and
My my
God,
dad
I
loved
love it
it.
in the end.
I showed it to my dad. He came to visit last October. He fell in love with it. He likes all of Tarantino's movies, but that, oh my God, he just, he was like he was a kid again. He grew up watching Lancer and all those shows. Yeah,
I think Tarantino and his movies,
yeah,
Pulp Fiction. I mean, his movies. You know when you're going to go see his movie because uh, Uma Thurman. She's not
yeah.
like one of my favorites, but she's a fabulous actress.
She
But
is.
God, that movie was just but Hollywood. Oh, my that ending.
Hmm.
And my one of my favorite parts in that movie is when DiCaprio was doing the part on the has been
Yeah,
actor in the western with that little girl. I'm
yeah.
going to tell you, I loved
Me too.
that.
Me too.
I loved that.
Me too.
It was crazy good, crazy. So, and as far as there's another movie. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but you've
Hmm.
got to see it. We just saw it a week ago. Bob Trevino likes it.
No. I don't know that one.
It's an independent movie, and actually, um, Frenchie Stewart,
Uh
French
huh.
Stewart
French Stewart.
was is in it, and I do believe that he had some say in helping with it being produced because it's like another movie that you don't know if it would have gone, but he liked the storyline, and it was true, and it's an actual true story,
Mm-hmm.
and it's phenomenal.
I'll check it
It's
out.
great.
I'll check it out.
You got to check it out. It is, I mean, Bob Provino likes it, and here again, I told my husband, "Oh, honey, this looks so good." I saw the trailer. I said, "Oh my God, it's a comedy. Let's go." It is not a comedy.
Yeah.
It is not a comedy. But by God, it is so good
Did
and gut wrenching.
did you
And that
mhm.
one was what we just saw recently.
Did you watch Batman or the
So
Monkeys growing
hard to
up?
make it. Oh my God, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Love the monkeys. I didn't even realize. I mean, don't you remember eating cereal just so you could cut out the album
I
or on the back?
in
Well,
my
maybe okay.
in my
Yeah,
generation, cereal boxes had prizes. That's all we had.
we had prizes, but we also had the when they had the like the God, and I can't believe it. We run down to the basement and put it on our record player because it was Donny Osmond
hmm
and gosh, whom else? There were several
The
back then,
Cowsills,
and yes,
the
I
DeFranco
mean,
family.
oh my God. And of course, yeah, we did have the one with the Lucky Charms and the prizes and the Cracker Jacks. Now,
hmm
I do miss Cracker Jacks. I do.
Yeah.
I miss the old Cracker Jacks, and I miss the Cracker Jacks in the movies
Yeah.
because now, I mean, and now it's like, do you want a glass of wine? I'm like, I'm seeing a movie. Yeah, of course I do. But
hmm
I like the buttered popcorn. I like the
Oh,
popcorn,
best.
and the uh, I wish I could get like a Diet Zero. One of those. Oh God, it wasn't Pepsi. It was. I'll think of it, but the old drinks, but the fountain drinks. But really, the movies I still like even more so because when I was performing,
hmm
I didn't go see films.
Yeah.
I didn't like to even see my rushes. I never watched my rushes. I never did. And there were so many actors that when I would work with them,
Yeah.
and I mean, when you were talking about, well, I mean, not when you were talking about, but the movie that I did, they still call me Bruce.
Yeah.
I mean, Joey Travolta and I mean Johnny Ewan. They and even okay, Pat Pulse.
hmm
Pat Paulson. They would go and see the rushes every time,
Yeah.
and they'd come back and they'd say, "So we didn't see you. Are you going to come? Are you joining?" And like the scene I had with Pat Paulson, he goes, "Did you see it? Did you see it?" I thought I turned. I said, "No," and he goes, "Why?" And I said, "I because I've developed what I want to do, and if I go see it and it throws me for a loop where I think, oh no, I don't want to ruin the 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 thought and where I am with this character, with this person that I'm developing. I don't want to change it, and I certainly don't want to start, picking it apart because then you get into it's screwed,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would never go see rushes. And even in playbacks,
hmm
there was a movie that I did, Operator,
Yeah.
and that was another low budget. I mean, that was like low budget. I mean, that wasn't even umbrella. That was like taking a book and holding it over your head. I mean, that's how much that was the amount of money put into it, but it was very funny and well done. And when they finished doing the scene that I was in, they were laughing so hard and they said, "Oh my God, you've got to come see this." And I'm like, "No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I'll see it when it comes out."
Yeah.
So I just couldn't look at that. And a lot of actors depend on looking at that, and a lot of that works for them, but I never wanted to go down there.
Do you remember the first album
To me, it just no.
Do you remember the first album you ever bought with your own money or was given to you?
Oh, Tommy James and the Shondells.
Ah, love it. Love it.
No, Tommy James and the Shondells was. I mean, I mean, Crimson and Clover. I mean, yeah, I was all over that. And then, I mean, Elton John. When I was a teenager, it was Elton
Goodbye, Yellow
John,
Brick
and
Road.
I loved, yeah, Todd Rundgren.
Ah, I seen him live. He fucking kicks ass, that guy.
I saw Todd Rundgren live at Cobo Hall in Detroit.
Uh-huh.
I was 15. Oh my God! I saw Elton John.
Yeah.
Jethro Tull.
Ah, love Jethro Tull. Oh.
He was kick ass. Now the one person and the other performer that I always wanted to see was Cat Stevens.
Oh yeah.
But he stopped performing
Yeah.
before I was old enough to try to, he stopped performing. And from what I understand, he still does concerts, but they're all in Europe, but very few. And are you blown away with how many of these groups, the Styx?
Yeah. I've seen
well,
them.
I had for Aerosmith. I had tickets, and of course, that was it was the third concert in to their for their concerts. We were the third one for them to perform, and that's when they stopped. And that's when he came down with the vocal issues.
Mm-hmm.
And after Tyler, they couldn't come back.
Yeah,
I was so bummed.
I've seen them live. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had, but of all of them, Tommy, since we have spoken, of all of them, I went to go see with my very best gay friend. I love him. He loves rock and roll, and I'm going to tell you, I love rock and roll, but I saw the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
And when they first came through several years back, they were coming out and I actually was never a Rolling Stones fan that much. I liked some of the songs. That concert made me believe two things. One, some people never get old. Because Jagger I was tired for him. I've never seen a performer perform like that.
Yeah, he's in his 80s. He probably weighs 50 pounds, and it's just amazing the energy that guy still has, And he was smart. He stopped doing drugs at the right time.
Yeah, no, he did. And there's a place here in Charlotte. Now everyone knows where I'm talking from, but there's a place here that it actually made the UPI, made the news, the internet, because we have a place called the Thirsty Beaver. Now, this place in downtown Charlotte is in between these great big huge buildings.
Right.
The man would not sell his lot, would not sell his land. He had a little tiny bar there, and it's still there, and it's just become so well known. And the night before they performed, unbeknownst to us, Mick Jagger went there with his a couple of his friends in the band, his manager, whatever, and they took pictures out in the front of him standing at the Thirsty Beaver. No one knew who he was.
Wow.
He had a hat on, and the way he was, the next night he pulled up this picture that he had taken, and I mean because we've gone to the Thirsty Beaver, I mean it's a hole in the wall, and you either have a beer or you have a shot. Yeah. And it was so cool seeing him just standing there, and he's going, "Yep, now look, no one's looking at me. Look at this."
Yeah.
The next day, it was all over the press, and the owner of the Thirsty Beaver had just gone to go home. He just wrapped up the day. He'd been there, and he had just missed him by like an hour.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some of the bands still have it. Some of them try to have it. Now I
Hmm.
saw the Eagles.
Oh, love them. Love
I
them.
thought it was wonderful.
I've
Um,
seen Alice Cooper. You should see him. He's a showman, that guy.
oh no, no, yeah, I saw Alice Cooper. My first my very first boyfriend ever that I had for 10, well, not 10 years. I'd say 7 or 8 years. He was a drummer,
Hmm.
and he was my very first boyfriend, my very first love, and he had a very, very good band in Michigan, and he would warm up for Cheap Trick, and he'd warm up for there was another good band, but he would warm up so he knew, oh God, who were they?
Hmm.
Uriah Heep.
Oh yeah.
He would warm up for these bands, so he wouldn't bring me to all of the concerts, but when he was going to a special concert and he took me to see Alice Cooper, oh my God. And we'd be right there. And oh, Tommy, did you ever see Frank Zappa?
Nope. He was. I was like 10 when he died, but I've been a lifelong fan because of my dad. I'm trying to get his daughter Moon on here because she wrote a book. I've had his niece on here though. I love Zappa.
I'm going to tell you, this is true Frank Zappa story. We went to see him, and of course, in those days, you gathered at the gate to go in, and it was a free for all for the floor. And
Hmm.
Joe, my then boy, and we're still friends, Joe Ortega.
Uh-huh.
Now he goes by Joey, and he still performs. And he, we were right there, second row. I mean, we had a group of maybe 12 people. Whoever got there first, just say we were second row.
Hmm.
And Frank Zappa came out, and he's performing, and all of a sudden, he had just done Eskimo pie,
Yeah.
and he said, so I've been told that there are people in here that are smoking weed, and we're like looking up at him, and I was like, and he said, so I've been told that if you are caught smoking it, you will be kicked out.
Yeah.
And so then he reached in his pocket and he pulled out this joint and he said, so you see this? And he put his guitar down, he lit it up, and he goes, and he took a good old hit out of it. He goes, this is not allowed.
Yeah.
He passed it down
Yeah.
to his bodyguard that gave it to us in the front row. Now, I'd never smoked pot in my life at
Hmm.
that point. And needless to say, my Joe never smoked. But I mean, that was such a hoot.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that he did that because it was like, what are you going to do now? I mean, security guards, what are you going to do now? Those were the days when you called it weed. It was weed,
Yeah.
and it was actually farmed.
Reefer.
But
Yeah.
well, I don't know because at that time when I was in high school, they would have what we would call, and I did not smoke it, but there would be pot parties
Yeah.
of people in high school, friends that I was students, friends that would have a little area somewhere out in the dockets,
Hmm.
somewhere out there in the fields that you could get to by car or walk back in, and they would have their pot growing,
Hmm.
and they would have parties where you could go out there and they would already have some, and then you could cut down stalks if you want. I mean, it was just crazy. We were crazy.
Yeah.
So
So to wrap this up, Bethany, like everything is good overall. I mean, you're doing traveling and everything. Health's good and everything.
Tommy, I have to tell you, you haven't seen or heard of me because I found myself in a place in my life that if you told me I was, yes, I went to Africa.
Hmm.
I did a safari. I've been very fortunate to travel quite a bit. I have two grandchildren that, considering I couldn't have children myself, who would have known?
Yeah,
I have been enjoying life to its fullest. And in the last several 6 months, we've had losses.
yeah,
I've had a heart condition, but in spite of it all, I would say, yeah, I think I have fared pretty well in in life.
that's good.
So
That's
I'm
good.
very fortunate, and it's so good to hear your voice.
Oh, thank you.
It is so good to hear your voice. And
Thank
now,
you.
the next time we talk,
Yes.
I will have gone to a very dear friend that we met in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to her very dear friend who has a villa
Nice.
in Italy. So the next time we talk, I will have been there and we will have seen some more movies.
Yes,
But promise me you will see Bob Trevino likes it because I want to
I
hear what you
will.
think.
I will. I will.
Okay.
I'll make sure I see it before we talk next time. I promise.
I hope so. And please be in good health and just have a take care and let's get some damn good. Let's. I would love to see a really good horror flick come out. So if you hear of
Yes.
one that comes out, and I'll let you know too.
Oh, see Wineville. It's on Tubi.com. Wineville. It is sick, twisted, and oh my god, laugh out loud hilarious as much as it's gruesome. Okay?
Okay, Wineville on which
On Tubi.
TV? Okay, I will. I will
Okay.
see it.
All right, love you, doll.
Well,
Have a great rest of your day.
you too, and have a blessed day. And it's so good again to hear your voice.
You too.
All
Okay.
right, take care.
Take care. Bye bye. Well, there you have it. Bethany Wright, ain't she a sweetheart? Oh my god, I friggin' love her. Now, normally we talk, 2 hours or 90-ish minutes, but she was on a time limit today, so we squeezed in a good hour there. And I think it was solid. She told me a lot of great stories like she always does, and I enjoyed every minute of it. She's such a character. I love her. And when we talk again, I want to hear her review on Wineville, and I'll listen to that Bob Previno, whatever his name is. I will have seen it, and I'll tell her what I thought of it. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, "There's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks." Later, dudes.